Welcome to the World Miracle Peace Experiment's conversation about peace. I'm MarBeth Dunn, your host, and I'm so thrilled today to have with us a spiritual leader from India. Sadhvi Bhagawati Saraswati is a renowned spiritual leader, and she's president of the Divine Shakti Foundation, which is a charitable organization that brings education and empowerment to women and children. She's also Secretary General of Global Interfaith WASH Alliance, which is launched by UNICEF, the first alliance of religious leaders for water, sanitation, and hygiene. She's also the director of the world-famous International Yoga Festival. And I'm going to let you tell us, well, first of all, welcome, Sadhvi. I'm Sadhvi Ji. I'm so grateful to have you here and see you again.
So wonderful to be here and to be with you. I'm so happy to be here. It's been really much too long.
It has been much too long. I feel like I want to cry. Yeah, it's been very beautiful. Beautiful experience. And you live in a beautiful, beautiful ashram in Rishikesh, India. And we have such a great transmission today.
When are you coming back?
I would love to come back. It was beautiful being there. I would love for you to share with our audience your destiny story of how you, a girl from Los Angeles, ended up being a spiritual leader in India. How did that happen?
It really was. It was just grace. It's nothing that I can take any credit for on any level in any way at all. I was not consciously seeking or searching. I was 25 in the middle of a PhD program. I had graduated from Stanford. I was doing a PhD in psychology and really was living the life that in the West we're told you need to live if you want happiness and you want peace and you want meaning and fulfillment. You get a good education, then you get a good job and you have a family and you have a nice, couple foot white picket fence around your house. And this is the happiness equation that those of us in the West are given. And I had all that. And we all were what I now, in retrospect, call happy by default, where we had all of the things that we needed to be happy. And therefore, if you had said, "Are you happy?" I would have said yes. But it wasn't actually until I got here that I experienced what real happiness meant, what real peace meant, what real joy meant. And so we came to India on just a trip. I had taken a semester off of my PhD program, and we came to India with backpacks. And I got to Rishikesh. It was the very first place we came. I opened a 500-page guidebook in Delhi and said, Rishikesh. And get here and put down our bags. And I said, I'm going to put my feet in the water. And that for me was really all it was about, was just, I was hot, I was tired, I wanted to freshen up. And so I walked down to the sacred Mother Ganga River. And I stood there and I had such an experience that it was like a veil was pulled off, not just my eyes, but my entire being, every sense that I had, my mind, every way of knowing myself and the world that I had. The veil was pulled off that. And I could see. And what what I saw, what I experienced was so transformative, so real, so true, so divine, so full, so whole, that it literally knocked me to the ground in tears. And I spent a long time just sobbing. And it made me know this is where I'm meant to be. And it's been an incredible, incredible journey since then. Day by day, hour by hour, blessings of being more and more touched and being able to be of more and more service in more and more ways. And that's really for me what it's been about, is just how can I open myself to let more and more grace flow through, so that whatever I'm doing, teaching, speaking, or overseeing humanitarian programs or projects, whatever it may be, to just allow the divine grace to flow through.
It's so beautiful. Tell us a little bit about the Parmarth Niketan Ashram and Puja Swamiji.
Well, the name Parmarth literally means dedicated to the welfare of all. That's what the name means. Niketan is an abode, a place. Excuse me. So Parmarth Niketan literally means a place dedicated to the welfare of all. We're simultaneously dedicated really to providing whatever may be needed. And so we run a wide variety of charitable and humanitarian programs, everything ranging from free medical care programs, free healthcare camps, schools, women's upliftment and empowerment programs, a whole host of environmental programs, now a massive water sanitation hygiene program, which is what the WASH stands for, orphanages, I mean, just so many different programs for the logistical needs of people. But on the other hand, we're also really acutely aware of the fact that an empty heart is just as painful to the person whose heart it is as the empty stomach is to the person whose stomach is empty. And so we also have a whole variety of programs for those whose stomachs may be full, but whose hearts feel empty. And for that, we have a lot of yoga programs, spiritual programs, satsang, the Ganga Arti. I mean, so many different programs and spiritual retreats that we run to help people fill the heart, the self. You know, as Puja Swamiji always says, we're so focused on filling our shelves that we forget to fill ourselves. And so we're equally committed to helping people stay connected to the fullness of their self, not just their shelf. And Puja Swamiji, my guru, is one of India's most renowned, revered, beloved, respected spiritual leaders. He's an incredible, incredible saint who has dedicated his entire life to the spiritual path. He left his home at a very, very young age and spent almost a decade living in the Himalayas, in the forests, in the jungles, in intense sadhana, silence, meditation, yoga, where he had nothing. He's been here at Parmarth now since his late teenage years. and has really transformed this ashram into some place that has become renowned all across the world as really a haven of everything that anyone could want, of the spiritual path, the spiritual programs, the service of the needy, the service of Mother Earth, all of that. It's become this magnet for people from every corner of the earth and of every color and every culture and every race and every religion. Everybody comes. And it's a beautiful, beautiful blessing to be able to be here and to be of service here.
It's a very beautiful, beautiful ashram. You have, I think, 1,000 beds. It's huge.
We have 1,000 rooms.
Rooms?
So, yeah, thousands of beds.
Wow. And it's right, it's so beautiful on the river Ganges, the Mother Ganga. It's so beautiful. I remember a few years back having that beautiful fire ceremony on the banks of the Ganga. I was like, so amazing. But, what do you think is the number one thing that keeps people from being peaceful, from living fulfilled lives?
The really greatest and umbrella chain that keeps us from living is our own mind and our own ego. There's nothing from outside that prevents us. It's our own way of thinking. As I have this very, very distinct vision of what I want, how I want it, when I want it, well, that prevents me from being able to allow the flow of the universe to come through me. I literally become blocked. The only way to really be able to live in a way that's full, that's deep, that's connected, is to allow myself to be open. That it's not about what I want, how I want it, when I want it. It's about wanting that divine connection, being open to that. And allowing my greatest yearning being to live the truth of who I am. Not about what I'm going to attain or acquire or achieve, not about, how much I'm going to make, not about where I'm going to go on the career ladder or social ladder or whatever ladder I'm trying to climb, but about where I am on the inside. Because at the end of the day, as we all know, regardless of what you acquire or achieve, if you're not in peace inside, which none of that brings, you can't sleep. There's nothing. There's no amount of money, there's no title, there's no career, there's nothing, no item I can purchase that's going to bring peace to my heart. The only thing that's going to bring that, ironically, is actually to let go of the attachment to those things and to be connected to the divine. And it doesn't matter what name or form we use. It doesn't matter what our religion or spiritual path may be. But to be connected to the divine flow in the universe. When we open ourselves to that, it brings all of the peace, all of the joy, and then of course also the meaning and the fulfillment, because we're going about everything backwards. We're looking to understand who I am by what I do. I need to get this job or that job, then I will feel okay about myself. As though somehow my title or my career or how much appreciation I get or how many followers on Facebook I have or whatever I may use as a standard determines who I am. But it's actually the opposite. I need to first know who I am. And then I'll know what to do. But we're going about everything backwards. And that's why we're so lost. If we stopped trying to figure out what to do in order to know who we are and started trying to figure out who we are, we'd automatically know what to do.
It's a matter of remembering who we are, because we are, and we've always been as we were created, which is pure spirit. And yet we think that we're these bodies.
Exactly. And we have bodies, and so it's not that we negate the body or ignore the body. The body is our vehicle. If I didn't have a body, I couldn't meditate. If I didn't have a body, I couldn't read inspiring books or scriptures that would awaken me and touch me. If I didn't have a body, I couldn't behold the flowing Mother Ganga. I couldn't look in the eyes of loved ones and feel a deep connection. I couldn't behold God's wonder in rainbows or sunsets or trees or babies. So my body is a very important vehicle. It just isn't who I am. And so when we realize that, and we realize, as you say, we're pure spirit, well, that's a really, it's an intangible concept for people. What does that mean? Well, if I go within and I realize that I've been saying I my whole life, pretty much since I was 2. 2 seems to be about the age that kids learn me, mine, I. That's where you get the term terrible twos, right? Suddenly at 2, it's all about no, me, mine. Since then, I've been saying I. But my body has changed innumerable times since I was 2. In the last 45 years, my God, how many changes my body's gone through. But there's been a consistency in my identification as I. Something has stayed constant. I haven't had breaks of my awareness of I. I haven't had to say, oh, wait, I need to recalibrate I because, I got new skin cells. I has stayed constant. So one way of thinking about it is just, what is it? What is it that's constant here? That hasn't sloughed off with my skin cells, that hasn't regenerated in my organs? What's been constant? And it's a way of getting into a little bit of tune with who might that be? What is spirit? What is essence? Because then, of course, there was an I before I even knew how to say it. Before I even identified as it, of course, there was an I. What's that? What is that? And if I go within and I practice the practice of what we call niti niti, which means not this, not that. It's a practice where we sit and we say, I'm not the clothes I wear. I'm not the skin. I'm not the blood. I'm not my bones. And we all know this. Nobody's going to say, wait, you lost me here. We know that we're not those things. And you get more and more subtle. I'm not my organs. I'm not my cells. And then, of course, I'm not my thoughts. Well, we know we're not our thoughts because our thoughts keep changing. If I were my thoughts, then I would cease to exist in between thoughts. I'm not my emotions because they also keep changing. If we say, I am angry, well, I'm not angry because 10 minutes ago I was happy. So clearly it's not I that's angry. And you move just more and more subtly until you get to a point where there's nothing else to say, I'm not this. And in that space that the Buddhists tend to refer to as nothingness and the Hindus tend to refer to as everythingness, you begin to have a glimpse, a touch of actually who you might be in that space.
Beautiful. That's so beautiful. What do you think is the number one way for us to achieve greater peace within?
Let go of all my attachments to things that steal my peace. If I'm attached to the world dancing according to my tune, I'm going to be miserable. If I'm attached to how people speak to me, how they act toward me, whether they appreciate me, don't appreciate me, whether there's traffic on the freeway, what happens with the stock market, I'm going to be miserable. It's going to go up today, down tomorrow. The more attached I am to the surface layer of life, the more I'm going to go up and down, because that's what happens on the surface. There's waves. The answer is not get out of the ocean. We have to be in the world. But the answer is anchor ourselves in the depths of the ocean. Anchor yourself in that place that doesn't go up and down. Now it means we also have to, give up our addiction to the highs. Because if I'm addicted and attached to the highs, I'm going to go down. You can't ride the wave up and not ride it down. So if I've committed myself to riding the waves up, I have to realize there's going to be down. But if I'm able to let go of that superficial level of drama and attach myself deeply in the core, in the depths of the ocean of myself, then yeah, things in the world go up and down, but I stay peaceful. And it's important, though, to remember that being peaceful does not mean being complacent. There's a lot in our world today that requires us to stand up and act. And I don't want anyone to misunderstand this, that finding peace somehow means that I'm okay with world hunger, I'm okay with violence, I'm okay with climate change, I'm okay with our forests being deforested. No, I'm not. We have to act. We have to serve. We have to be prepared to sacrifice. Decisions that I make just based on what my tongue wants to eat, what I want to buy, what I want to wear, how I want to shop, in service of the universe of which we are part, in service of the creation of which we are part. So being at peace does not mean I'm going to sit this one out. Being in peace means I recognize that in order to be any kind of effective, efficient, impactful, influential agent of any kind of positive change, I can only do it if I'm anchored. If I'm going up and down, bouncing on the waves, I am not going to be of any use to anyone else who's drowning. The only way for me to be of use to the world in any way is if I'm anchored and grounded. So my peace is not the end in and of itself. It's not, oh, great, now I'm peaceful. You can all figure it out for yourselves or just go to hell and die and, whatever it is. I'm peaceful. It's not that. Peace becomes the means to the end. A critical, crucial, essential means. not the end in and of itself. It's I'm in peace, therefore I can open myself to the flow of the universe that's going to use me. It's like that beautiful prayer of St. Francis of Assisi, right? Oh Lord, make me an instrument of thy mercy, an instrument, a tool, not a lump on a log. An instrument is measured by how effective it is, not by how beautiful it is, not by how covered with diamonds it is. An instrument, a tool, is only of any value based on what it does, how effectively and efficiently it's able to be whatever an instrument it is for. And so he gives it to us so beautifully. Let me be an instrument of thy grace, right? Where there is hatred, let me sow love. That beautiful prayer of let me bring the change our world needs. And of course, he ends it with, it is only in dying to the self that I am reborn. I'm paraphrasing, I know, and I apologize, but
Don't apologize, it's beautiful.
That's the teaching. Well, I apologize to anybody who actually knows exactly what the words are, but that's the essence. And so we have to die to my death grip on who I think I want to become, what I want, how I want it, when I want it, in order to be A, at peace, and then B, an instrument of grace.
Wow, I could go on with you forever. This is so beautiful.
So happy to see you after such a long time.
Such a long time. I think it's been like 5 years.
And we need you and Harrison back in Rishikesh. Mother Ganga's calling you.
Yes. When I was there, I had a vision and I saw, it was just so beautiful with the Ganga. I saw just this divine being rising up from the depths. It was like amazing.
Yes.
Very powerful.
Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Of course, of course.
So much peace.